Ladies and gentlemen, Microsoft has chained many of our brethren down, restricted them to where they are nothing more than an Xbox pawn. But you might as well start calling me Django Prion around these parts, because I'm making sure every Xbox fan feels like busting loose of the restrictions and dropping the chains that once held them down. And you know, Microsoft, as you know, fashionable as it may seem to just deal with it, I refuse to. Because what I saw was nothing more than a downright shame, a downright travesty as it pertains to the gaming phenomenon. Matter of fact, you know this game called RYSE, they've been hyping up for years, hyping up for months, hyping up for days, hyping up because it was going to be the greatest thing of all time that has ever caressed an Xbox console, bringing you back into the old historical ages of ancient Rome, bringing you to the new and exclusive gameplay that is RYSE. Because you gotta get the you can't just say why, because the game was just so epic and magnificent, right? Okay, so this is what happens, ladies and gentlemen. Do you want to know what the difference between this right here and RYSE? You want to know what the difference is between this movie right here within this? What is this movie? What is this godforsaken movie? Killing Them Softly with Brad Pitt? You want to know what the difference is between this and RYSE? As much as I'd like to be joking here, Brad Pitt and QuickTime events, that's the only difference. Those are the only two things that differentiate that game from a movie. Because a recent article came out with some proof and some documentation that a design choice that may leave many gamers flabbergasted has actually been rolled with on the Xbox One. You see, they didn't want RYSE to frustrate the gamer. So what do you think they did? Do you think they made it easy? Do you think they made it really relatively easy to reach your checkpoint? Or does the game get easier each time you die? None of the above. None. Nada. Zilch. Not a single thing that I just mentioned is the thing. And you'll be praying that one of them was. Because you know what they did? It's a game that plays itself. Now you're asking, Black Crayon, how can a game possibly play itself? Well, you know those QuickTime events you saw throughout the trailer, throughout the first 15 minutes of gameplay, am I right? You remember that? Okay. Well, someone who was actually playing the game at E3 noticed, what happens if I don't press anything? What if I miss a QTE on purpose? And the cutscene will still go through. The cutscene, the cinematic kill, would still play as it progressed. And then he asked someone at Crytek a very simple question. Why is that? Is that a glitch? Is that something that's just wrong at the E3? No. They specifically said, we do not want the gamers to feel frustrated in any way, shape, or form, so we would like the game to play itself, but not really giving you a challenge. So why call it a game? Why call it a game? Why call it a game? Well, why call it a game? Like, I understand that most people will probably make a script for this, but I'm seething. Like, I'm mad. Like, you just don't. You cannot process the level of anger that I feel right now. Yes, I came up with that Mardi Gras, but it ain't a Party Bra beat scenario, like 15 minutes on the fly. But, you know, this is disgusting. Why? Just all jokes aside. Why? No. Just, no. What juncture was, who greenlighted this? How did this happen? Who said, yes, we do not want gamers to even play the games, but we still want them to pay $60 for it when you can buy a movie for $15? No, absolutely disgusting. You can get a movie stream for free. So if I watch an LP of the game RYSE, then I will be able to just fully be immersed into the game as the gamer would be had they just placed the controller down in front of them. Because they even said that they placed the controller down in front of them and just watched what would happen. And bada boom, bada bing, still got the cinematic kill, still got the set pieces. That is disgusting. Remember, gamers, when I said this with the Capcom thing, eventually we're going to start getting games sold to us that play themselves, and there's no point in paying a full retail price for it. And a lot of you Capcom defenders are like, Black Crayon, oh boy, you're funny. And look where we are now with RYSE. Look at it. Look how it is burning into my mind, your ears, my retinas, because I saw what was going on. The article will be in the description. And then there's another thing I want to talk about. Apparently, there's two things that Microsoft's been doing. One, the Blackbuster Critic has already talked about, so I'm going to put a link to his video in the description because people need to see this. But Microsoft has been sending their employees or people who work under them in some way, shape, or form to go head out to these Nintendo events on Wednesday and Saturday of this week in order to see what the Wii U fans are thinking. Trying to jump into a Wii U fan's head and trying to coerce, convince, and get them to jump ship from the Wii U, if they haven't already got one already, to go out and buy an Xbox One. But if your console was as good as they say, you wouldn't need to go on someone else's freaking territory and just literally ride their coattails of their magnificent swagger across the stage in order to spy and be like passing something under the table. Now, here's a rumored story for you. I heard that once again, like last generation, they were saying you can get the full next-gen experience if you buy a Wii U and an Xbox One. Much like how last generation, they said you could get a Wii and an Xbox 360 and have the full experience. Pretty much trying to get all the knocks they can on the PS4. Which, okay, let's say that's a rumor. I won't punish them too bad verbally for that. But at the same time, there's no way they could even think that if Japan's not going to get the console till 2014. That is retarded. But let's get to the big point, final point that I want to make here. And no, it's not related to RYSE, my friends. Did you hear about Reddit? What happened on Reddit with Xbox and Microsoft and Xbox One? They were damage controlling so hard last night. They were damage controlling. They were saying, oh, we may remove some features. We may bring online gaming offline. We might be able to somehow coerce, I don't know, making used games a possibility. And you know what? Let's say they do that. Don't fall for it. Because if they can find a way to do that, that means this whole time, ever since the reveal, ever since E3, they've told you nothing but lies. They've gotten into your brain. And unlike the rest of the brainwashed flunkies out there, we can rise up. We can pick any of the other two consoles this generation, save gaming perhaps. But if you're going to sit there and tell me that you can just rectify all these problems, that means you didn't have to do it in the first place, which tells me and every other gamer with common sense out there, and maybe not a crazy messed up afro, but good common sense and a good brain underneath, because that's what counts, underneath the scalp and the bad hair day, that's what counts. Yeah, that. Anybody with common sense would know that you've been lying to us since day one, but we already knew that. But the fact that you would even come out and just hypocritically state it so everyone can see and pretty much making your own bed so you can lie in it later, I guess we might as well thank you for that, because now we can at least just tuck the sheets in. I'm a passionate gamer. I'm spitting. I apologize. When I get passionate, I get mad. That's why when I make love, I am passionate. Spit, saliva, wet kisses. I'm the Black Prion. I'm done.